Every waterfowl hunter knows the importance of conservation practices, and Delta Waterfowl is a leader in doing all they can for successful reproduction year after year. Bill takes some time to sit down with some of the leaders in these efforts to learn more, and how all hunters can help provide safe habitats for nesting hens.
So Mike, when I think of Delta, the first thing I think of is predator management. You know, that's been on the top of my mind forever. So
Sure.
What is predator management and how does it help the duck population?
Sure. So what predator management is we call it the seasonal management of local predator populations. And so we focus on looking at nest predators, trapping them from March 15th to July 15th, because that's the breeding time frame for ducks. And our goal is to increase nest success, so make more nests hatch so more ducks are flying south in the winter. And how we do that, or how that helps, is that there are many areas of the prairies where duck populations or nest success is below the population maintenance threshold. So ducks need 15 to 20% nest success just to maintain their populations where they are. In a lot of places, Bill, that's less than 10%, less than 5% even in some places. And so when we look at the reason why, it's because of predators. 90% of nest failure is due to predators. And so by going in with professional trappers and reducing those number of predators, we can elevate nest success by 2, 3, even 4-fold to make sure that as many ducks are flying south as possible.
Okay, obviously one of the biggest things is where do we do predation control? So how do you guys determine that, and what sets the bar there?
Sure. So how we determine where we implement this is we have a kind of a big complex model that we look at, and we look at number of pairs, so number of pairs of nesting ducks. We look at the amount of water on the landscape. We look at the amount of cover on the landscape, and all of these things that we have in these models, we can kind of understand where ducks need help the most, where the nest success is likely to be the lowest, and so that's where we target those areas. You know, we're not setting traps from the southeastern part of South Dakota to northern Alberta in every culvert and farmstead and tree row. We're looking at very isolated areas, very targeted areas, because we know that that's what it takes to increase nest success at a meaningful scale.
So Mike, I mean, of all the predators, I mean, you see them all. I mean, what does the basic person need to know about, is it fox, is it skunk, is it squirrel? I mean, all of the above. What do you see as the main? Kind
of all of the above. You know, I would say the #1 predators out there right now are raccoons and skunks. And that's mainly because purely of the sheer number of them that are out there. You know, there are other predators that probably on an individual basis can depredate more nests than an individual raccoon or an individual skunk, but 80% of what we're catching out on the landscape is raccoons and skunks, and that's because the landscape lends itself to them. These are animals that thrive in the type of landscape that the prairies have become, with a lot of edge, very small patches of habitat, and so raccoons and skunks are really our #1 and 2 predators out there.
So when you target an area for predator control, you go in, you hire individual trappers,
yes, sir.
Local trappers. Do you continue, is it an ongoing year-to-year basis on the same nesting ground, or do you jump around, or how do you do that?
Well, it really can kind of vary depending on the situation. So the biggest thing is that, yes, we do hire professional trappers, and they're local people too. We're not bringing in a lot of people from outside. They're the local guy that traps in the fall for fur anyways. And so we're giving them an opportunity to trap for us in the spring to target those animals that really aren't targeted in the fur harvest. And to answer your question as to repeatability, yes, we do go back to the same areas more often than not, time after time, because we've seen that, you know, especially these types of predators, they can move into an area quite quickly. We can reduce them very effectively during the breeding season, but you know, they also have 8 months to kind of filter back in, and so hitting those areas repeatedly year after year definitely ensures high nest success.